Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We are your TV necromancers, Laura Prince and Noah Woolahan. We have come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows, to find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, and which ones should just stay doomed. We will analyze the history, the hype, and the aftermath of shows that ran only one season or only one episode. With me as always is TV's Noah Woolahan.
Do I have to? I'm tired.
See, I thought the bit was going to be that I was doing the intro kind of quietly because you were going to be really loud.
I'm tired.
Because this is the week in which New York goes to work.
Yes, New York goes to work, which I didn't realize when we started watching was the follow-up to New York Goes to Hollywood. I thought that was the second one. So we're doing it out of order. Does that mean we're going to definitely do New York Goes to Hollywood?
Yes.
No. Doesn't mean that at all.
No, it absolutely does.
Just don't expect that anytime soon.
Oh, it's not going to be like the next week or so, but like, it's celebriality.
We'll get there.
We all know how I feel about celebriality. It's coming.
It's a-coming. So, this is the show where every week, America chooses where New York will go to work.
Yes.
She is given a task to do. If she does it well, she receives $10,000.
For a day's work.
For a single day's work. We should be so lucky. If she doesn't do a good job, she gets nothing. She gets nada, she gets zero.
Except probably whatever she's paid to appear on the show.
Yeah, besides that.
Because I'm sure she's making at least scale.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, I don't know. Like, I haven't done the research on this, but this is a thing I've been thinking about. And I guess we could start with this. This could technically be a game show. And technically you can appear on game shows and not get paid.
I doubt that's because at this point, that's something that they could legally do, yes. Mm-hmm. But at this point, I think New York is a hot enough property for VH1 in the spring of 2009 that they wouldn't do that.
Right. Because I remember there was a show on Comedy Central called Win Ben Stein's Money.
Yes.
And each episode, you could win up to $5,000 of Ben Stein's money. And he wasn't legitimately, like, taking money out of his bank account. But that was part of his pay. So, like, if he lost, and he lost $5,000, he didn't get paid that $5,000 for that episode. Was it his only payment? I do not know. I know it was legitimate.
It was probably a scale, because Ben Stein in particular, I'm imagining, would have been union.
Yeah.
So Ben Stein is unquestionably Screen Actors Guild.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we know this from the strikes last year. Game show hosts are covered differently.
Yes.
But I'm sure there is a union scale minimum he had to be paid.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have it on IMDb for I Love New York. She was listed as making $50,000.
Okay.
I would imagine her salary for this a couple years later after another successful show, as she's become more of a property, I could see her base salary for the show being similar.
Yeah.
And then whatever she got on top of it.
Yeah, it's bonuses. So let's jump into it. And the one thing that's a bit odd is we watched this on Peacock.
Yes.
Now, if you watch the original run on VH1, there was like a voting mechanic where we as America could choose each week where she was going to go.
Right.
That's not included in these episodes that we're watching.
Yeah, so they were actually quite short.
Yeah, so they're very short. And also, like, we don't have the information, at least I don't have the information at the ready, based on what I just watched, of, like, what our choices were. That seems like a end of this episode research thing that we will discuss. So let's jump into it. Episode 1, New York becomes an exterminator.
Yes, so she becomes an exterminator and working at your pretty standard small business.
So we meet Randy the Exterminator.
Yes.
Who is never seen without his sunglasses on.
I'm Randy from Abolish Pest Control.
Hi, Randy.
America voted.
Okay.
They wanted you to be an exterminator.
What do you mean by exterminator?
Rats, rodents, bees, all kinds of stuff.
He and his crew are going to put New York through her paces in becoming an exterminator. So she has a list of 3 things she must accomplish.
Yes.
She has to deal with... They have like silly names, but basically she has to deal with a snake, with bees, and a carcass.
It's interesting because the first thing she has to do is listed as spraying for insects. She ends up having to do more. But the first thing is listed as spraying.
Oh, interesting.
And it ends up being more than she bargained for.
Oh, this is so the first one is bees.
Yes.
And
but they only tell her it's like a routine insect spray.
Yeah. But then they go into a garage, or not a garage, like a shed. And there's a beehive in a convenient cardboard box with painter's tape.
We're not going to talk about how much they prank her before she starts any of this.
Oh, I guess we should talk about the pranks.
Because they hold up 2 little mice in like a little terrarium. Like these are like PetSmart fancy mice.
Yeah.
And they also pull out the most obvious rubber snake. Like, it's coiled up, and when they pick it up, it's still, like, flattened on one side.
Yeah.
'Cause it's meant to, like, lay on the ground.
Mm-hmm. They also offer her some nuts.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, spring cans.
Yeah, and snake fly out of it.
And it's... There's also a great joke when she comes in the uniform. Mm-hmm. They say, when she goes...
Y'all know that phrase, dress to kill? This time it's literal. But you know what? I'm ready to go win this 10 grand.
The first thought I have going into this show is New York really understands that there is an appeal to her getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
And getting humbled. Mm-hmm. She is so aware that that is the drawing part of the show.
Yeah. The people that she's with are kind of taking a delight in having New York with her.
Yeah.
And that's when we have this whole bee thing take place. And, like, it's very clearly a planted beehive.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like I said, it is in a cardboard box with painter's tape around it. So that they can very easily, like, pick the buzzing box up. And then, like, they put New York in a full beekeeper suit and tell her she has to open the box.
Yeah.
Which, no, you don't. Like, if you're an exterminator and all of the bugs are already contained in a single box, you're done. you take that box and you throw it in a lake or a fire.
No. You relocate the box into a safe location because we protect pollinators.
You'd think those were honeybees?
They were bees.
Yeah, not all bees are pollinators. Like, hornets aren't pollinators, nor are carpenter bees. They're carpenters.
Yes, they are.
Hornets are?
Yeah.
Not all bees are pollinators, though. Like, some of them are acting bees that appear in I Love New York.
While bees, wasps, and hornets are all beneficial pollinators with memorable black and yellow markings, their behavior varies greatly.
Wait, wasps are pollinators?
Yeah. Yeah, the differentiation comes from whether they're gonna, they're obvious, they're all pollinators, they're all different types of animal. The same way, cats, dogs, and raccoons are all mammals, but like...
You know what? I think I'm confusing pollinator with makes honey. Wasps don't make honey. If wasps make honey, I'm going to flip this table over. I don't like this research.
Some do. Very few. Most do not.
Okay.
But there is a wasp called the Mexican honey wasp.
Okay.
They are, to be fair, one of the only wasps that do.
Okay. All right, well, you know, we all learned something, all right? We're all happy now.
So protect the pollinators, guys.
Yes. All right, so don't light the box on fire. I'm sorry I said that. We then have New York trying to catch a snake.
They do get the pollinators. They do take care of the bees and wasps.
Yes.
So she gets the check mark.
Yeah, she gets her little check mark.
Then they start looking for a snake, and the homeowners give them this very helpful descriptor. Yellow.
Yeah, it's yellow snake.
This doesn't feel real.
The whole time, I'm screaming, let me see New York and the snake in the same shot. Because there's shots of the snake, and then the shots of New York going, oh my god, a snake! Oh no, snake! And then back to a shot of the snake. But they're never together. So there's never a moment where I believe that she's in the same shot as the snake. And that's not good TV.
Yeah.
That's not good TV at all. Like, she has the hook, but like it's a long time of just like her screaming and shots of snake. Perhaps B-roll snake.
I mean, it's definitely, we see the other exterminator staff with the snake.
Yeah.
So the snake is there. He's just never there at the same time New York is.
Yeah, like, is it possible that, like, there actually was a snake that they were trying to catch? Of course, it's possible. But that also means that New York never got close enough to the snake for them to be in a single shot. And the shot's pretty wide.
We never do see the snake and New York in the same shot. And
No.
finally, she has to remove a dead animal under a house. And there is a very funny typo in this.
Oh, yeah, you picked this out.
It says 3:45 a.m.
Yes, when it's clearly PM.
Yeah, it's full on daylight.
And basically, they look into like a crawl space, like under a house.
Yeah.
And there is a corpse and or planted stuffed animal.
And they have a camera with a light on it, but the camera's facing New York for some reason.
So here's the thing.
They try to tell her, like, oh, we have all for new tech.
Yeah,
They kind of gaslight her.
Yeah, they're like, all of our new recruits wear this helmet. And it is the helmet that they wear in the MTV show Fear, where, like, it shoots forward, but it also shoots a confessional close-up. And she, like, sticks her head in. And we do see the corpse and New York in the same shot.
Yeah.
But there's, like, a camera already stationed near the corpse.
Yeah.
And it's shooting, like, at the opening to the crawl space that New York is, like, they're trying to Winnie the Pooh into. So, if nothing else, somebody had to already crawl in there, set up a camera, and leave so that New York could do this. While they're in there, could they have also planted the body? Yes.
Did
Absolutely.
they? Probably.
More than likely. New York... there's also then a moment where... Because it's like a dead mouse. Or perhaps a bunny. It's hard to tell. But there's a moment where they show live mice. No idea where they are in regards to anything.
Yeah.
So we, of course, yell, B-roll mice.
Yeah.
And New York runs away and throws up.
Yep.
And we do get a shot of her, like, frothing at the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
As if she had just thrown up. So that at least seemed legitimate. And then my favorite part of this whole thing happens, where it goes to commercial, and then on Peacock a commercial didn't start, and it just came back. As if Peacock was like, I feel too bad to throw another ad. Nothing's happened in this show.
Yeah. So then they have her performance review, which is everyone she worked with gets to vote on whether she gets paid, and then the boss gets to decide. That is the conceit every episode. And she passes the spray and bee test. She passes the snake test. She fails the rat test with this great line.
Can I just tell you, I'll go up to bat for Jason any day,
You didn't today.
any other day?
New York's comic timing in this show is really something.
Yeah.
Like, she's the not today, any other day. That's quick. That's so funny.
That's in a confessional, though. Like, someone could have wrote that line for her.
No, that's what's said to her during the performance review.
Oh, I thought that was a...
No, because she goes, I'd go to bat for Jason any day, and they go, not today.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, any other day. It's pretty quick.
I do want to say something real quick about the confessionals. We do have talking heads of New York.
Yes.
And also, like, we'll get talking heads of various people that she's working with going, New York's got to do this or else I'm going to give her a thumbs down at the review. So this really weird phenomenon has happened where this was a show filmed in standard definition. So it's 4:3.
Yes.
But when they go to the talking heads, it then becomes landscape. So if you were watching this on a standard definition television, black bars would appear at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, because it becomes widescreen.
So it can become widescreen. But we're not. We're watching it on my giant high definition television. So now what happens is throughout the entire show, there are black bars on the left and right of it to keep that 4:3 look. And then when it's a confessional, it's now in this weird black rectangular box.
Yes.
Which means that, like, the fine people at Peacock didn't bother to edit this in any way so that it would full screen in that moment. Because it could, because now it fits the television correctly. Instead, we get this weird, like, picture box effect. It pissed me off every time.
I never noticed it.
Really?
Not even once.
Really? Because every time it happened, I went, I was sitting right next to you.
So I never noticed.
All right.
Or ignored it.
So, as to become the regular with this show, the boss refers to his employees. New York gets a thumbs up for handling bees, a thumbs down for handling snakes. And was it I don't think she actually...
No, she got a thumbs up for the snake and got a thumbs down for the rat.
Oh, she does get this... All right, I got this confused. So she gets a thumbs up for the bees, thumbs up for the snake, thumbs down for crawling in and getting the corpse. And even though it clearly looks like it's, 2-1, Boss Man makes the final decision. And he decides New York gets her money.
Yes.
Because he's a cool guy in sunglasses.
Yeah, I mean, 2-1, they'd voted to pay her, so that makes sense.
So she gets her 10 grand, and she celebrates, and that's the end of the show.
Yep. Episode 2.
Episode 2, we go from exterminator to pig farmer.
There is not a single joke about her feeding, like, Flavor Flav or Pumpkin to the pigs in here, and I felt like we could have used one. Not because I think those people should be fed to pigs, but, like, those are the two people I can think of that New York would have wanted to kill at that point. Mm-hmm. So they take her to the Pork Palace.
Yes.
Which sounds fake.
Yes, it certainly does.
She does mention being concerned about swine flu.
Yeah, she was like, have you ever heard of swine flu? And I was like, yes, New York. I'm very familiar with swine flu.
I mean, that was a zeitgeist joke in spring 2009, to be fair. Like, that was, like, relevant.
I know, but it's just a problem now, is what I was saying. Swine flu came back this season.
That's bird flu.
No, there was a swine flu outbreak as well.
Oh, no.
School systems, yeah.
We used to call, because you know how they were calling it H1N1 to get you to
Yes.
stop calling it swine flu? Mm-hmm. Did the people you went to school with also start calling it Heine flu?
Heine flu, yep.
Because we just openly, we're like, oh no, what if you get the Heine flu?
Yeah. And kids, that was the first time that we introduced hand sanitation stations into schools. Like, you know that Perel station that you see outside your door? Those weren't installed until 2009.
I started my hand sanitizer habit in like 2000 or 2001 when I got sent to sleepaway camp. And my dad was like, so they're gonna have you poop in a hole in the ground, so here's some hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
Thanks, Dad. So, her jobs are going to be to clean a pig pen, move a pig,
Yes.
and feed the pigs.
Yes. So she's got like a designer bag. So they're like, oh, I need to put this away. And the farmer opens like a dirty cabinet.
Yeah.
This is expensive.
That's
Randy.
expensive?
I gotta put it in there.
We can put it in next to our semen
What?
dumpster here.
That's not a great way to store semen. Like, I'm pretty sure that should be in a cooler. Like, I don't think that should be in a hot metal box next to the pigs.
What's very odd is what she actually has to do doesn't quite end up matching up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of editing in this episode
This is a frustrating episode.
because they're clearly editing to minimize how much New York actually is supposed to do.
Right.
Which is why I think they also added a lot of padding, because she ends up having to do 2 more tasks. Mm-hmm. Because turns out cleaning manure out of pig pens, one, audiences don't want to look at poop.
No.
And it's old watching someone muck out a stable.
Yeah. There's also this weird moment where New York keeps saying, like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. And they know it. They never show us there. They never show us the area that she's supposed to be going into. We just see her, like, not going through a fence.
Like, she has to move a pig, and she just screams about it, and isn't able to move, like, a fairly large pig. Mm-hmm. So...
Oh, this is also the first time that I hear her swear.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I don't want to clean up pig shit. And I'm like, oh, I guess this is uncensored. And this, dear listener, is foreshadowing. Hold on to that little nugget. It's going to come up and be very important later.
And traumatizing. She also then has to feed the pigs, and it's just funny watching her just yeet food in.
Yeah.
Because, like, she doesn't have any finesse. It's just her with a shovel just launching food.
And then they do feed her, which is nice.
Yeah.
They feed her and
They feed her a suckling pig.
it's a full-on pig. And they're like, go ahead, carve the pig, New York. And I think the idea going into this was she will not like the pigs, she will grow to love the pigs, she will be sad about carving a pig. Instead, she's just like, this is still just as gross. Ew, I don't want to.
And, like, carving a very large piece of meat is hard.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do. And they're also, like, weirdly talking about this like it's a strike about her working. Like, there's talking heads of people being like, if she's afraid to carve that pig, I don't know if she deserves that $10,000. It's like, no. You can't fail at lunch. Like, that's not the part where you're getting judged.
Grandma is also just part of it. You know, they use their skin for burn patients. Like, just
full of fun facts, that
full
grandma.
of terrifying fun facts. So she fails the cleaning and moving of the pigs, but she passes the feeding of the pigs.
Yes.
And then they make her do 2 more things. She accidentally lets a goat out.
This I don't believe. She accidentally apparently frees all the goats.
Right.
And the goats all escape, and then she's got to, like, hunt them down. I don't believe this for a second.
I think the show ran too short.
So there's a goat collecting scene.
Well, and then she has to artificially inseminate a pig, which I will admit is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because the pig farmer goes like, talk nicely to her while you do it. New York goes,
Successful. You might be a dad. Talk nicely to her.
Take it
That's...
like a woman. Here you go.
it's so awkward. And then New York is like, am I officially this pig's baby daddy? I can't wait to call my mom and tell her she has grandchildren.
This is funny to me because, one, this is a Jackass stunt.
Yeah, it is.
Like, in the original Jackass, they artificially inseminate a horse in the film. So, like, to see this on VH1 is like, all right, Johnny Knoxville did this. There's also a moment where she's looking at the inseminator, which is like a corkscrew. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if she got the joke when they fed her this line. But in the talking head, she goes, "This is crazy. You won't find this in New York."
Hey.
You won't find this in New York?
Oh, I didn't catch the double entendre.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly because I think I just refused to.
Yeah. We then get to the segment where they vote on whether or not she should get the money. The boss man, of course, has the ultimate decision. And, like, his son really doesn't like New York.
Yeah.
He's like, this is a working farm boy. And, not putting up with this city slicker. There's also a guy that, like, doesn't speak the best English that works on the farm.
Yeah.
And when they go to him, he actually says, you have beautiful booblies.
You have beautiful boobies, and you coming down, and boom, 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 come. Oh my goodness!
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. In any case, apparently catching a goat and doing the little bit of poop scooping she does is enough for her to earn $10,000. So she's up $20K.
Yep.
As we move into episode 3, now it's time for something completely different.
She is working at an upscale resort.
A very upscale resort.
Yep.
Very strict dress code.
No, not a strict dress code. Literally the opposite of that.
Yeah, that is true.
It is a clothing optional resort.
Yes.
So it's clothing optional, which means literally the least strict dress code imaginable.
Yes, it is the Terracotta Inn, which still open today.
I do not wish to Google that at this time.
I did it already, don't worry.
Oh, my next note. Oh, this is the point where we remember that streaming and cable have different rules. Surprise butt.
Yes, so this is completely uncensored.
Yeah.
So we are getting the full experience that New York got, and we're seeing all the gibbles, all the giblets.
We're seeing everything New York does, and honestly, New York handles this as best as can be expected.
So it's a lot of like,
You're going to find that's lots and lots of hard work, but it's also lots of fun. So I think you'll have a really good time.
Your is out. I'm sorry. I'm just noticing it.
Like, I remember having this realization with Rock of Love as well.
yes.
To me, it brings up some very interesting questions about consent.
Yeah, I agree.
Because in 2008, 2009, when these were being filmed for basic cable. It was understood that they would be censored.
Right.
Because the most you would possibly get is if there had been some sort of... I'm sure there was something in their contract about some kind of home release.
Yeah, like
about like
an
a
uncensored
DVD.
DVD.
But I think in their nature, an uncensored DVD has a smaller audience than anyone can watch it at any time on streaming.
Yeah.
And this isn't really a show you would think of as, like, this is not a show I would have really thought of as being like, oh, this is going to have nudity in it.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about it as, oh, it's a basic cable show from 2009 that's making fun of a girl for being bad at jobs.
Mm-hmm. So to me, the fact that everyone in this is naked and we're just seeing it, I think that speaks to the fact that everyone in this episode is an actor. Like, I don't think we're seeing a single hotel guest right now.
Oh, I was going to say, I think those are really the employees.
Yeah, the employees I can understand.
But yes, I think most of the hotel guests we see, because there are some who clearly do not sign any kind of waiver and get caught in background shots, they are censored.
They're still censored, yes.
So they are censored for legal reasons. Anyone who appears on screen clearly signed a waiver or signed permission. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine a lot of them were probably like... So there's one hotel guest who's very mean to New York.
Yes.
And I would be really surprised if he wasn't an actor.
Yes. New York calls him the big fat hairy guy. And he wants to know where the floaties are so he can go floating.
Yeah, that's not for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So New York has to do breakfast service. New York, it is worth mentioning, is actually more modestly dressed than usual.
Yeah, she's pretty... She's pretty covered up.
Yeah, like, she is more, modestly dressed in this episode than she is in any episode of I Love New York.
Yeah.
So, she's making small talk. She's very dramatic about the nude folks. But she also does start flirting with at least one guest.
Yeah. As New York is known to do.
Like, there's one clearly more attractive guest, and she flirts with him a lot.
Yeah. So she has to, like... This is a very strange episode. In, like, the first half, it's all about, like, I'm dealing with these naked people. And she's, like, talking to people, like... Are you okay with the fact that I'm sitting here talking to your husband and he's naked?
And she was fine with it.
And he's like, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's all about being free. And it's kind of like this message of like, it's a different lifestyle. It's not for everybody, but we're accepting here. And like, there's a few times where they're like, bear it all, New York, join us. And she's like, no, thank you. And then the other half of this is just simply her being a maid.
And hating it.
And that to her is impossible. Because they're like, all right, New York, we need you to clean this room. And they're like, you're not going to help me?
Yeah, like she is really mature and thoughtful. Because she has like a very nice conversation with the woman who she's talking to about her husband. She's like a really good conversation with her.
Yeah.
With a lot of depth.
Like she's growing as a human.
There's a moment where I kind of can't blame New York. Where they're trying to make the bed, and the other person's just staring at her, like the other employee, and she's like, you're not going to help me make this bed? It's easier to make a bed with two people.
It absolutely is. But
the really big problem is she's supposed to set up the luau.
Oh, I was going to also say that she refuses to turn on a vacuum. Like, there's a whole part where she's just moving a vacuum, and then she's like, it's not working. I mean, we got to turn it on, New York.
There's a point where she swings a cleaning rag around like a rally towel.
Yeah.
Like, instead, like, she's, like...
I cleaned it.
Like a John Cena towel instead of cleaning a bathroom.
Yeah, there's no scrubbing that goes on.
There's no wiping.
Yeah. And then she has to set up a luau. And there's this weird part where she has to put tiki torches into the ground.
Yeah.
And she, like, takes one and she's like, it won't go in. So she hides them?
Yeah.
That's very confusing. And then, like, it's luau time, so it's time to party, so she just starts drinking.
Yeah, like, she's flirting with that guest again. She's having a glass of wine. She's, like, kind of blurring the line between guest and host.
Right.
And the man who runs the hotel completely notices.
So, when it comes time to see if she gets the money, she gets some thumbs up when it comes to her guest relations. But when it comes to being a maid and preparing a luau properly, it's a big old thumbs down.
Yeah.
And for the first time in the show, they rip up the check and she doesn't get any money. Let's review. New York is good at exterminating.
Yep.
Good at pig farming.
Yep.
Bad at naked parties.
Yep.
The bookies must have took a beating with this show.
The credit scene on this one is actually, like, very charming.
Yes.
It's her just, like, tossing strawberries to guests in the pool, and they're, like, catching them in their mouths. And it's, like, this cute, charming scene they clearly didn't want to show us before she got paid or not paid.
Yeah.
Because it makes her too endearing. I found a lot of these credit scenes after this make her too endearing.
So the thing about the credit scene is, if you were watching this on VH1, you would not see this.
Or you'd see it, like, super crammed off to the side, maybe a little, while an ad for I Love the 90s plays.
Yeah, it's already, like, crammed off to the side because credits are playing. But this is where they would put in, what would you like to see New York do next week?
Oh, you're right.
So you absolutely would not see this. If you're
Right.
watching this first run, you're 100% not seeing that because you're getting that ad. If you're watching it, like, get replayed on VH1, then chances are you're still not seeing it. You're seeing them, like, advertise whatever the big premiere show at 8 o'clock is going to be, because that used to be how VH1 worked.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's interesting seeing these scenes that make her endearing that are definitely not meant to ever really be seen. Then, episode 4. Oh my god. She's a ghost hunter.
This is my least favorite of the ones we've watched for this episode.
This is my favorite one because it's so stupid. She has to go onto a boat and they're going to do like a investigation for ghosts. Immediately, like during the intro for this, New York starts screaming because she saw something in the window. And they have to go, New York, it's also a functioning hotel. But this is immediately me being like, okay, this is going to be the whole episode. Is she's just going to scream for no reason. And you know what? I'm right.
Yeah, it is a lot of her screaming, which is why it's my least favorite episode.
Yeah. Because in New York's words, ghost hunting is not cute.
It's kind of cute. So she meets Erica the psychic, Steve the tech, and Chris the coward.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, oh no, Chris is a wuss.
This is them clearly trying to get a TV show on VH1.
Yeah.
Where they investigate ghosts.
Because they do the most introducing of the people on this one, and the people try to do the most.
Yeah.
So she has to meet Jackie. She has 4 tasks in this one.
Yeah.
Jackie, the voices of the vortex, meeting Henry, and a seance. Jackie and Henry are ghosts.
Are ghosts. Yeah, don't forget they're ghosts.
Because Jackie is a little girl. Mm-hmm. Tiffany calls a dead child, and I quote, this bitch, unquote. And then my next note is several times.
Yeah. So they're using Downson rods, which are like these like clothes hanger things that if they move are supposed to be like, oh, they're getting hit with like magnetic forces or whatever.
Yeah.
New York is screaming the whole time. And in one of my favorite exchanges, the ghost hunter says like, I think she's here. And New York responds, does she think I'm stupid?
I can hear her. She's laughing at you. She's laughing at you.
You think I'm stupid?
No, she thinks you're funny.
Thinks you're funny. So this is all like stupid and ridiculous.
And they give her a piece of more expensive equipment to hold.
Yeah.
In the next scene where they're doing the voices of the vortex and they're trying to get like a measurement of something. Mm-hmm. I don't pay attention to the ghost hunter fake science.
I wrote down what I believe they call it, which is an Equinet. She broke the Equinet.
Before Kim Kardashian. There was New York walked so Kim Kardashian could run.
Yeah. But yeah, spoilers. She drops this piece of equipment and it breaks, and they're like, that's the thing you can't do.
Yeah, because that probably was expensive.
Yeah. I'm sure that guy got ripped off on the internet from some guy saying, this catches ghosts.
And I'm sure VH1 paid him back for it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get EVPs, which Erica can't get because New York is clinging to Erica for dear life.
Yeah, it's like, we gotta listen to this ghost.
I love that the language is uncensored in this episode.
Yeah.
Because New York swears a lot.
Oh, there's some good swears in this. So this is just a fantastic piece of obvious editing.
Yeah.
Is they're in the dark. So it's that like grainy night vision look.
Yeah.
Like that grainy black and white night vision where their eyes kind of glow.
Yeah.
And then something happens.
Very 13 Fears real.
Yeah. And like it starts to flicker in and out. Which, as an audience member, you're like, oh, the lights are flickering. But no, the lights are already out. That's just an editing effect to make it look like something's happening. Is they're just cutting the footage. Found that annoying.
So then they have to meet Henry the ghost, and Henry is an Angie ghost.
Yes. So there's this weird moment where they're trying to make contact and they have this like this heat thing, because apparently Henry was killed by steam.
Yeah.
He got melted. And all of a sudden they're like, whoa, up in the ceiling, I'm getting a reading of 108 degrees. And you're doing it with me. Doing it with me. And they're like, no, that's impossible. And they're like, yeah, it's there. And then she just starts screaming, which ruins it. You can't tell the temperature and listen to New York scream at the same time.
I feel like it's probably really hard to do anything and listen to New York scream at the same time.
And they eventually are like, okay, clearly it's having a reaction to New York. New York, we're going to leave you alone with the equipment. Which is clearly them trying to get the money shot.
Yeah.
Of like, New York alone in the haunted boat. And New York refuses. As a result, we have our little, will she get the money or not? There's a lot of thumbs down voting. She doesn't get the money and claims to quit the show.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going to be back. I'm not doing this anymore.
I'm telling you straight out, I'm done. You're not gonna play games with me over 10 grand each time. I'm not doing this anymore. It's not worth it. I'm dead serious too. Get your camera shot. I really don't give a damn. I'm not coming back here.
This is dumb. Which invoked another one-season wonder that we need to look into.
Yeah.
Do you remember Todd TV?
No.
Todd TV was basically a takeoff of Ed TV, where they followed a guy around 24/7 and gave him challenges. And if he didn't do them, he didn't get the money at the end of the week.
Ugh.
Something we should look into as a possible show. I tried to watch it. It was bad. Episode 5. Oh, and I should also say, of course, she didn't get the money.
Yes.
Because she didn't catch a ghost. That's like the one thing she was supposed to do. But ghosts remain unproven. Thanks, New York.
Yeah, like, what if she had just proven there were ghosts?
Yeah, could you imagine?
Like a ghost just walks up to her and goes like, hey, New York.
Yeah.
I love New York. Flavor Flav should have picked you.
Yeah. I'd have spit on Pumpkin too.
The next one is my favorite episode. One of my favorite episodes. The next two are my two favorites.
Yeah, these are great.
The exotic animal trainer. My first two notes. I die, but at least I die doing what I love.
Yeah.
Because, like, if not friend, why friend shaped?
Yeah.
And they show the animals. They're working with an exotic animal trainer who works with animal actors.
Yes.
So these are heavily trained animals already.
Mm-hmm.
They're still wild animals. Like, they're still dangerous. but they are less dangerous than like them dropping her in a zoo.
Yeah.
So we see a lion, a falcon, and a tiger. I have the note. I think I'd be too good with the 2 kitty cats. But I like birds.
Yeah, Laura's not a big bird person.
I like birds when they are more than 4 feet from me. I love birds.
Yeah, at a distance.
Or like when I know they cannot beak me or claw me. But if there is a chance that they can do one of those things, I'm not a big fan. I grew up near the Jersey Shore. And
The seagull.
yeah.
Vicious.
I legitimately fear seagulls and Canadian geese.
Understood.
I'm getting over Canadian geese. Seagulls are still bad.
So, the first task is she has to brush a lion, which is a dream of ours.
Yeah, like I would be like, what a good day.
Can you pet the big kitty? Yeah, I certainly can.
There is a moment where he goes, "Can he smell blood?" And then she's like, "Maxi pad, save me now." And I was like, oh no.
You're thinking of Sharks, New York.
No, lions can, like most predator animals can smell blood.
I'm trying to make a funny. Do lions make honey?
No. They
All right, that's what I thought. Lions are not pollinators.
So she's got to brush his hair. Sounds great.
Yeah.
But she can't turn her back on him. You can't turn your back on a lion because you can't turn your back on a lion.
Yeah.
She keeps doing that.
Yes, she also says that she pooed herself.
Yes.
So that's cool. So she like kind of lightly touches the lion with a brush, and she gets. I don't think she gets a pass.
She
this.
fails.
Yeah, she gets a fail for this.
And then she has to do like light falconry.
Yeah, falconry. Something
But
that
nothing-
cost like $400 to go do.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing you couldn't do at like a Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
And he's a scary boy because he's a big bird of prey raptor. But she actually does pass this one in that she doesn't run away and holds her arm where she needs to hold it.
Yeah, the more like annoying thing about this is less, oh no, big scary bird. It's, ew, I have to touch raw meat to feed him. Which is annoying.
I mean, I had the great privilege of feeding an otter
Yes.
one time.
Yes.
I know you were there. I was assuming that perhaps the people who
Well,
were...
I'm still going to agree. It'd be really weird if I was like, nuh-uh. Lies, slander.
I had the great privilege of feeding an otter once, and let me tell you, what they feed otters is nasty.
Nasty.
But that being said, to feed an otter, I would endure.
Yes. The final challenge is a tiger.
The task is supposed to be that they're going to train a tiger how to jump up onto like a higher platform, and she is to hold the bait stick.
Yes.
This immediately goes wrong.
Yes. So they're like, they give her like a lot of like training. Like, this is an animal that can kill you. You will listen to my commands at all time. All right, let's go in there. And the tiger immediately mauls one of them to death.
Not to death.
Well, yeah, and then it's a hilarious jape.
Yeah, it's something the tiger is trained to do, is to fake attack someone, because that's something an actor tiger might need to do.
So, like, they don't tell New York this is going to happen.
So she thinks a man dies in
So
front
she
of her.
thinks a man dies, and her arms are just at her side, and she's like, ooh. She gets, like, Morty upset. Like, ooh, Rick, oh, no.
It's interesting because she's not New Yorking.
No.
She's not screaming or cursing or making a big scene. Tiffany Pollard gets upset.
Yeah,
for a
Tiffany
second.
Pollard has watched a man die in front of her. And then they're like, nah, just kidding. That's something that the tiger's trained to do. Now let's play with the tiger.
Exactly. She has a line here that's great, which is,
Ain't nothing funny about a 400-pound cat getting ready to eat somebody that's supposed to give me $10,000.
which is a talking head, but it's a great line.
It's a great line. So she needs to hold this stick and like help the tiger jump up and then feed him little snacks. But again, she finds it gross to touch raw meat more than giant tiger that I just watched eat a man.
Yeah, and she drops the bait stick at one point,
Yeah,
which is like a big no-no.
Big no-no, because then the tiger might jump to the ground.
Yeah, which is not what he's supposed to be doing. She's not great at this part. It's genuinely, she clumsily drops it.
Yeah. But then they do it a few more times. She gets the hang of it. She starts to complain that stick heavy. But she got to play with a tiger, and I kind of hate her. Because she got to play with a beautiful, beautiful animal. And then get 10 grand at the end.
Yeah, you also are very fond of big cats.
I love big kitties.
So, like, this was the episode where you're like, but I want to.
Yes, stop complaining and pet the lion.
So, and like, I feel that because I would also be like, well, I wish to pet the animal. Because I generally want to, like, if I can pet it and not die,
I pet it.
I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
I also got to feed a black bear once, and it...
Nuh-uh! Lie slanter!
It was everything in me to not try to pet him.
Yeah. I really want
like,
to pet
I wanted to boop the snoot.
Oh, yeah. You're such a good boy.
Yeah, he had like 2-inch long teeth. Like,
Yeah.
booping the snoot was not a good life choice.
Not a good idea, but so cute.
But I really wanted to. We're going to be banned from that zoo forever after this podcast.
So then we got episode 6, which is the Bow Wow Bungalow.
Well, they have to decide whether she gets paid.
Oh, I said that she did.
Oh, yeah. They summon the check to her with the hawk, which I think is fun.
Which was super, yeah.
They very kindly pay her, despite the fact that she really did suck at this job.
Yeah.
And then we have an episode where I think I might have failed for the opposite reason.
Yeah. It's a doggy daycare. The Bow Wow Bungalow.
I think I would have forgotten to do any work because I would have just been playing with the puppy dogs.
Yes.
The whole time.
So she has to just basically, it's a doggy daycare / like spa. And she has to, it starts as you'd expect with her cleaning kennels. That's her first task.
Yep.
And she's like, ew, do I gotta do it? And I yell, yes, New York, that is the entire premise of this show.
There's 75 dogs, and I would be breaking the door down to pet that. It would be, can I pet that dog?
Oh, yeah.
There's a great little moment here where while she's cleaning the kennels, a little dog, like, barks at New York, and she goes, what did you do to be in doggy prison? And it's, like, a very just silly moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is one of the duties here. And then my next note is LMAO duties. She then steps in poop, which is funny.
Yeah.
And because they have to, like, put a dog bed in the washer, and for some reason, this is her, like, she is tilting windmills.
Yeah.
With putting, like, this bed in this washer. Never mind, this is an industrial washer intended for this and has more than enough space to put the bed in. Mm-hmm. So then she goes out into the yard to play with dogs.
Yes. And that's all she has to do. And it is a supercut of her being like, ooh, I'm scared. And then playing with dogs.
There's a great moment where she goes, is that dog dead? And it just cuts over to this bulldog with his eyes fully open, just being like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
She does cry out that a dog bites her, but the person who works there is like, there's no holes or blood.
Yeah.
Which is how I feel when, like, a dog nips me. I'm like, did it draw blood? No, don't care.
So she plays with dogs for a bit.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
I would do this for free.
She then has to wash a bloodhound?
Named Hitchcock.
Hitchcock the bloodhound.
And they clearly go for, like, who is the mellowest dog in the yard today. Because he's super chill. And in all of the talking heads, she emphasizes how nasty it is. But in the shots with him, she's clearly having a hard time being New York.
Yeah, she's like, just gotta clean. He's dirty.
Oh, there's poop on his butt.
But like,
there's a point where she goes, it's the right temperature, right? Like in this very concerned voice.
Yeah, like I'm not hurting. Like, you can tell she just likes dogs.
Yeah, like it's not working out for her. Like, they had to put in a lot of talking heads where she overacts a lot about screaming. And I think there's also some ADR.
Yes.
Where we overhear her screaming about dogs. when we don't really see it. Because there's a second dog that she has to bathe, and it's a basset hound screaming.
Yes, Kate the basset hound.
And she's like, this dog never screams. I'm like, I think this dog always screams.
It's a basset hound. Of course it always screams. That's what they do.
The only way that would have been worse is if they'd gotten a husky.
Yeah.
And then tried to claim a husky doesn't scream.
The husky was really loud and the Jack Russell was really energetic. Like, yeah, that's what those dogs do. And New York starts doing this thing where she's like, but I'm tired. I'm so tired. And then
she can no longer pretend anything's gross because she's clearly too fond of the dogs. So she had to find something different to whine about.
And then she just kind of walks away as if they realized that New York has succeeded too much this episode. And they need to shoehorn some, like, issue for suspense. And it's that she's too tired. Yeah. In any case, she gets $10,000 for this. But to me, this is the turning point in the show. Because this is when it becomes very obvious, where it's like, oh, New York is a character. She needs to fail a certain amount to make it a show.
Yeah.
There's not like this isn't about New York growing and like earning skills.
Yeah.
Because I had this memory in my head.
She knows that the humor is in watching her be humbled.
Exactly. Because I had this memory in my head from the commercial for this show where she's like driving a forklift and she goes, I'm doing it, y'all. Like, I'm proud of myself and I'm doing it. And I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. And then I realized that's not this show. That was a different show. That was Wanda Does It on Comedy Central, which was like a different genre of show. This is like dirty jobs. Like, can this person learn to do this? And like, learn the ins and outs of this. This is about a person we're not supposed to like because New York's terrible.
Yeah.
Getting comeuppance by doing dirty things and us going, ha, look at her suffering. But she doesn't do that in this one. She plays with the good boys.
And, like, is clearly enjoying it. It's very cute. She gets paid.
And she gets paid. So at this point, we are 6 episodes deep. She's up 40 grand.
Yeah.
And this is where we're going to call it for this episode of Stay Doomed. We're going to save like most of the heavy research and stuff for part deuce, because of the dog poop, of this.
Part deux.
Part deux. Fully
a doo-doo.
Fully a doo-doo of I Love New York. So be sure to join us next week for part 2. Do we have any admin for this? Because we're not going to give it a rating. No?
No.
All right. Cool. Where can people find us?
You can email us at thestaydoomedshow@gmail.com or on Blue Sky @staydoomed.
And if you want to pet big kitties, I'm at TV's Noah on Blue Sky and Instagram.
If you would have failed the dog grooming episode because getting you to do anything besides play with and pet dogs would have been impossible, I'm Laura Crane on Blue Sky. Until next time, stay doomed.